The band came together as it's like a culmination of two bands. I had my own band called the Gentlemen of Leisure with Steve Mazza on bass, John Borges on drums, and myself on acoustic doing all the vocals. And I also had a regular Tuesday night gig in Plymouth with Angel Dombrowski on fiddle and Bob Calderara on mandolin.
I played in an old-time country band called the Fabulous Mustangs. It was kind of a project that we worked on in town in Plymouth. And Butch jumped on board for that project toward the end, and then had asked me to sit in with him and the Gentlemen for a couple of gigs, and it just sort of stuck.
We were in a little group called the Fabulous Mustangs. I'd never met her before. I filled in for somebody one night, and she was standing next to me for 3 hours playing fiddle like the devil. And from that night forward, we've been playing together.
I got introduced to the band through just going to see Angel and Butch playing in a country band, and me and Angel were doing a duo thing, and the country band kind of broke up, and then Butch wanted to keep his Tuesday night gig going, so he says, why don't we try playing as a trio, and it worked out great.
I've known Butch since high school, so we go way, way back. But I didn't ever play in a band with him. We almost started a little trio, and it ended up not happening. So this was actually the first band that I was with him in, although he was playing in different bands when I was in different bands. Same clubs, that whole circuit, just in the, just in the Southcoast area.
I started playing with Butch in 1971, and we played pretty much through the early 80s. Then he went his way, I went my way. We went on to different bands. And maybe about 4 years ago, we started working together again. His guy couldn't do it. I was looking for something to do. And I always liked working with Butch. Butch and I always worked together very well. And we have the same perspective on music. We have a lot of the same ideas. John's played with other bands, and so have I, but we always kind of end up together, and he's a real solid player, and he's probably my best friend. So it's great to have him in the band, and Steve Mazza on bass. I've known Steve since back in the 70s as well. We never played in a band together until just recently, maybe four years ago we started playing together. He was working with Gary Brown and at a place called Phase, and I played there once solo, and he sat in with me, and I thought he was really good, so we started playing in a band. So we formed that little band called the Gentlemen of Leisure with those three guys.
Butch was playing with his other band, the trio, the Gentlemen of Leisure, and I sat in with them one night after Angel joined up with them, and Butch loved the sound all of a sudden, having a mandolin and the fiddle playing with him, so it just took off from there.
One night we just all got together, and I think it was at T-Bone's maybe in Plymouth, and I had a gig with the Gentlemen of Leisure, and Angel and Bob showed up, and we all plugged in and started playing together, and it was, well, it was kind of magical. And
never shall I marry again. Never shall I marry again. I will lay my bones by the side of your grave. Never shall I marry again. Never shall I fall in love again.
Every song has a different style to it, which is what I kind of proud about, how we crossed a lot of different musical styles. Never Shall I Marry Again is my favorite song on the album because of the difficulty it was to learn the song, and the difficulty in the mandolin solo I did was impressed me. I'm not super keen on my playing as a mandolin player. I'm more of a guitar player, and I've been forced into being a mandolin player in this band, so it's made me a much better mandolin player.
I keep my broken heart concealed. I keep my broken heart concealed. Never shall I marry nor fall in love again. I keep my broken heart concealed.
Never Shall I Marry Again. It kind of has almost a darker idea to the song, a darker story. So I was kind of wanted to fool around with a tom-tom thing, like a boom, 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 boom. So kind of a low, foreboding almost type of feel to the song. All these songs are very minimalistic. I try to play a very, I don't play a lot of stuff. Basically carry the song, drive the song, carry the beat, maybe a little embellishment here to, you know, to bring out the idea of the song.
Never will the angels sing my name, for I've sold my soul for a moment I've forgotten. Never will the angels sing my name.
I like to drive with no radio. I just drive. I like the process of driving, and it clears my head. And I always have my phone with me, so if I get an idea, an example is Never Shall I Marry Again, which is a track on the CD. I had that in my head while I was driving. I was in that mood. I'm recently divorced, so I was thinking, no, I'll never get married again. And it turned into a song. So I had the lyrics going through my head, and then I sang it into my phone. And I recently found that demo, and it's almost word for word exactly as I had done it in the car. Not every song is written in the car. A lot of them are written through sweat and perspiration and blood on the page. I wrote the song Middleville after we started recording. That wasn't planned on being one of the songs originally on the CD, and I wanted to write a song about meeting someone halfway, because in my personal life I'm seeing someone who lives on the West Coast, so it's not only am I meeting someone halfway geographically but emotionally. So I tried to invent a place where, you know, people can meet halfway, and that was Middleville. And that's how the song started, and I started working on how I wanted the song to evolve, and I wanted it to be a road song. So it starts off with me packing my car, and then the lyrics take you on a trip to Middleville, Michigan. Yeah, I think it's pretty effective.
Now I'm driving down the turnpike.
I think that Middleville as a song is like an iconic American song. It, for me, is like it's almost like country music. And by that I don't mean the sort of country music that you hear every day on the radio right now, but almost the beginnings of country music, where the road trip songs and trucker songs and songs about journeys and America, like going from one end to another and all the stops along the way. And I think that it really speaks to that part of Americans. We love that. It's like it's a romantic idea, and I think that it's a perfect kind of song that captures that.
We had come in and we had done all basic tracks, and we basically finished the record. Butch said, "I've got a couple more that I'd like to do." He played Middleville for me, and I said, "Well, what do you want? What do you want to do with this?" And he said, "Well, do what you did before." I said, "Nah, I don't feel that." I said, well, he said, "What do you want to do?" I said, so he goes, "You start to do. So I go, what we should do is this." boom, 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 boom. Goes with bass. He's like, do that.
The fact that I have great musicians working with me makes it easier for me because I don't have to worry about it. It's almost like being a pitcher and having a really good infield. You know, you're not afraid to throw it over the plate once in a while and let them hit it. And it's kind of the feeling I have. You know, I never worry about the drums and I never worry about the bass, even live, because it's always right on the money. And that's a comfortable feeling, and it allows me to be more creative, recording and live.
I'll hit the Illinois highway before the break of dawn, with the sun rising on my back while I hum this simple song.
The title track, Butch came up with that. Started with just a riff on the guitar, I think, and he originally just wanted to do it with him and Angel, and I heard it, and I said, oh, I think I can throw a mandolin part in on that. So Butch is great like that. He'll never just tell you what to do. He'll say, do something, play what you think, and if he likes it, great. And if he doesn't, they'll edit it in or out. But it clicked right away. One of my favorite songs on the album, definitely.
We're a flower in your hand.
Somehow easier to write a sad song, but you know, a lot of people would always ask me, why do you write such sad songs? Because a lot of the songs I've written in the past, myself and co-written, have been fairly somber. But every once in a while I write a happy song.
Soon the leaves will fall. California calls. California calls. California calls.
When we recorded this album, it was in the middle of the winter, and it was a really awful winter for everybody, I think, with tons and tons of snow, and it was freezing cold, and we were in here singing about California, and you know, it was one of the things that kind of got us through. You know, it's a wonderful idea. I just have this this vision of California when we play it, and it's so positive and so fun.
California calls.
He wanted an upbeat, really positive type of feel for that song. He says, "This is what I want." So it had kind of a bouncy, you know, so kind of to drive it, it's kind of like, you know, that type of thing. And it was kind of Angel says no, but I always say, oh, it's a polka. But it's not a polka. But I said, yeah, but it's that kind of polka feel.
I love the fiddle part on that song. It kind of gave me the opportunity to do a little, almost like a little Cajun sort of tinged. I mean, it's certainly not Cajun music, it's not a Cajun song, but the fiddle playing, that bow stroke is a little bit of that. It was a really fun song to play fiddle-wise.
I'll break down these prison walls. California calls. California calls. California calls. California calls. California calls. California calls. Just But the girl half asleep in the very next room just asked us to please go to bed. Thank you.